seeing as we're about to play a game of Guess the Top 5 Defenders in Siege in 2023, I thought we could start this video by playing Guess the Old Bald Siege YouTuber sat behind the bar in Cafe Dostoevsky. Surprise! I hope you guessed correctly. Hey up troops, alyttleton here again with another video, and today we're going to look at who are the best 5 defenders in Siege in 2023. This is a video I've wanted to make for a while because I believe there's 3 defenders in particular who are insanely good at the moment, and if you don't play them every round, you're trolling. These 3 in particular should be in every single defensive lineup. There's then 2 who I've added, one who's an old favorite who should be sticking around and probably in most lineups as well, but another one who I rarely see anyone play, who I genuinely think is top 5 defenders at the minute. He's absolutely class. I don't need to waffle anymore. Let's just get stuck right into it. So the first operator on this list is none other than Mute. My favorite operator at the minute, my favorite operator to play, probably my favorite defender overall. Just the character design and his utility as well is fantastic. Now I brought Ace along here because I'm going to show exactly why Mute is fantastic. And in short, it's because he counters everything. I'm going to put a Mute jammer on this door. I'm going to put a Mute jammer on this wall. And I'm going to go and put a Mute jammer behind Ace on study door. I'm just going to give you a brief description of what Mute can do here. So we'll put a Mute here. So we've placed 3 Mute jammers down. Obviously, we've got great weapons in the M90A1 and the SMG11. He's a 3-speed, sorry, he's a 1-speed, 3 armor now, which is not ideal. I wish he was still 2-2, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference because you're generally playing around sight anyway. So we're just going to go and stand in the corner now, and we're going to go and watch Ace do a couple of things, and we're going to see how Mute counters. Now I'm just going to use the other keyboard and mouse to control Ace here. Now just have a watch at what he's going to counter. So he's going to throw Salma on the wall, which is countered. He's then going to go and drone through study, but he can't because that's countered. And then he's a bit worried about the run out, so I'm just going to go and put a claymore here outside just to stop the run out. And then we're just going to have a look at what's just happened there. So Mute has muted the claymore, so that's countered. The Salma is muted on the other side of the wall, so that's countered. You can't drone this door. Also, that Mute would also stop anyone droning through this door as well as the claymore. But just as an example there is Ace. Ace brings 3 pieces of utility to the board. The Salma, Claymore, and a drone. And Mute counters every single one of those. There's not many operators that Mute doesn't count. Obviously, he counters everybody's drone, but he can also counter air jabs from Nomad. He can counter 0 cameras if they're in the right place. He can counter Iona clones. If an Iona clone tries to go through this door, it wouldn't get through because of the Mute jammer. He counters literally everything under the sun. Not quite everything. Obviously, throwables and stuff. Yeah, I'm being pedantic there, but you know what I mean. He's an unbelievable defender. He's incredibly strong, and if you're not using Mute, I highly recommend you start to learn him. Flip between the muzzle brake and the flash hider on the SMG11, and if you can learn to use the SMG11, it's literally unreal. And then, you know what, you run out of ammo, don't worry, because we've got an unbelievable, I was going to say unreal and unbelievable then, and I said unrelievable. We've got an unrelievable shotgun that actually works unlike most shotguns in this game, although that's getting changed next season. So operator number 1 on the best 5 operators so far of 2023 in Siege, Mute, take a bow. Coming in at number 2, and this is probably the most underrated defender, despite him being in the top 5 for me at the moment, it's Mr. Echo. His gun, everyone's so like reliant on 1.5s. His gun is unreal. It's so good, and it comes with a built-in silencer. It's got a 1.5. It's got a really cool koi skin, and also it gets a bearing as a secondary. Now, bear in mind, you could also use the shotgun bearing combo like you would with Mutant Smoke or the shotgun SMG11. You can do exactly that with Echo as well. Now, why is Echo so good? He just does a lot of things well, and you can play him in multiple different ways. He brings impacts if you need to make rotates. He brings a shield if you take the shotgun instead, and his utility is drastically underthought of. Yes, he took a bit of a nerf. I mean, how long ago was it now when this is no longer invisible when it's on the ceiling? I don't know if anyone doesn't know this, if you're new to the game, but when Echo drones used to go on the ceiling, they would be invisible, which was obviously insanely strong at the time, and you'd be getting like blasted by Echo drones and you couldn't find them. They're visible now, but that doesn't mean they're useless. You've just got to think about how you use them, and we're going to talk about one particular setup that I use all the time in my games in ranked. We've got a Sledge over here who's going to help out and plant when we ask him to. Hi, Sledge. And I'm going to show you the setup that I use. So just before we get into the setup, there's two different ways of playing Echo. You can either play Echo quite conservatively, where you'll put a drone down in an area where you're expecting an attacker not to find it. So, I mean, that's not a very good point. I'm just like putting this anywhere. You tuck it in behind the bar and you try and get information in various different places. You could even, like, on an area like this, you could tuck it in under the skylight. Someone could shoot it from pillar, yes, but I'm just giving you an example where you could tuck it in, make sure people don't find it. Now, the way I like to play Echo as well is also aggressively. So this only works if you're queuing with somebody. So on an attack, when a teammate will go into the building, you'll drone them in. Well, you can do exactly that with Echo on defense as well. If you're here, for example, and you've got a teammate who you're playing with, and you can say, look, and probably on the Warden, because they're an absolute gunner, but you can say, look, Warden, push down white stairs, I'll drone you down. And you can have the Warden following your Echo drone. And you go, oh yeah, there is one down white stairs. And you can move the Echo drone out of the way straight away so it doesn't get destroyed. And then the Echo gets the kill there. And you go, right, follow me into reading. We'll go this way. No, we won't go that way because that's laundry. We'll go this way. Ignore that didn't happen. We'll go this way. Yeah, there's one reading door. And then not only can you call out to your teammate where they are, you can stun them. So you can say, yeah, all right, there's one outside reading door. Yeah, he's just to the left-hand side. Yeah, he's stunned. Push now. It's a really, really solid way of playing defense. The only thing is it's limited to you've got to be playing with someone. You can't do it solo, obviously. But you can be aggressive with Echo as well. And you know what? If you lose both drones, not the end of the world. You've still got really good weapons to take the fight with. And don't forget, Echo got changed. It was a while back again now, but Echo got changed to a 2-2. Echo used to be a 1-speed 3 armor. He's now 2-speed 2 armor. So, the setup that I like to do on Cafe. Jump up on here. Shoot out the top of this wall. Oh, don't fall off there. Shoot out the top of that wall. Now, that doesn't look shot out, but it is. You can now throw an Echo drone on the top of here. Sometimes it can take a couple of tries to get it through, and you can poke the wall out, the bits that have destroyed. Just leave that cam on there. How hard is that to see? I know I always say, well, we know it's there, so it's obvious to see, but for an attacker, that is not obvious, and it's pretty well hidden. The other one to do is open the bar. I use the bearing for this, because I don't want to completely run out of ammo. Open the bar, but only open the top of the bar. All the way along. So a little bit across the top and then underneath. And then go prone, throw that in there, and leave this in the bar. Now, the default plant spot for attackers is usually there, or here behind the bar, or sometimes even here on trash. And if they do plant on trash, you can even take that side out as well. The key thing is to not shoot the bottom out so no one can see that the drone's in there. So people see the bar like this and they think they've shot it out so you can like shoot through the bar. So you can hold things from here and stuff. They won't think there's an Echo drone in the bar. So then let me just swap over to the other PC. Sledge comes in and is about to plant. And the beauty of this drone is, now we're in the bar, you can actually go up and it'll activate on the top of the bar. So Sledge starts planting. You can get him off the plant and just bob it back down. You can go again, he's planting. You can get him off the plant and bob it back down. And again, this will apply for if they're planting in trash, or if they're planting on the trolley, or if they're planting in the default spot there. You can get everyone around there. And then as soon as you've shot it, get down. And Sledge will, I guarantee you the Sledge, let me jump on Sledge, will start looking like this, wondering where the Echo drone is. That is a world-class Echo drone. Obviously, you've got 2 Sonic Blasts to get Sledge there. And if you're struggling, you've got your other one that you've put on the wall, which gives you great information all the way through the round. And if you're struggling, you can just bring this off the wall, fire it up here, and you can get him off the plant this way as well. It's just a really great setup. I tend to, when I'm playing this, I tend to sort of hang around this area, around Cocktail. Just be careful you don't get grenaded from below, because a lot of people do that these days. If you are playing this area, we've gone off topic a little bit, but a little really good angle to learn is shoot out a bit of that wall. And then you can hold the cigar door from standing on here. Really good angle. You can also hold the default plant from there as well. Bear in mind, Sledge is crouched there. So you can hold the default plant to an extent. It's not the best angle to hold the default plant from. But holding the cigar door running from here is a really nice angle. Obviously, you can also play top white. If you need to, you can challenge onto pixel door as well. A really nice place to play. But those 2 Echo drones, man, you'll get so much information. Especially, there's nothing more satisfying at the end of the round going, don't worry, lads. Round 1. Great setup with Echo. One of the most underrated defenders, and he's well worth a space in the top 5 for me at the minute. Shoot the speakers. Right then, no surprises here, I don't think. The 3rd operator on our list is Azami. I know this is a top 5, but Azami probably makes it into the top 2, if not the strongest attacker. Sorry, we're not doing attackers here, are we? It's possibly the strongest defender in the list at the moment. Absolutely unbelievably good. Very good kit, very good weapons, and the utility is ridiculous. So we're going to use the same side. By the way, just to change subject here very quickly, you can only stop this clock ticking if you shoot both of these. Yeah, shoot the clock as well. So we're going to use the same site, top floor and cafe, like we did with Echo, to talk about an Azami setup that's just unrivaled. But there's loads of sides you can play Azami on and why she's good. We're going to use all 5 keybers. Bear in mind it takes 30 seconds to generate a keyber, so you've just got to think about the order you put these down. You know, you don't want to be cutting off this window straight away when you could do the top red one. We'll get into that in a second though. So the setup itself, the first 2 keybers are going to go on the edge of this bookcase, and then on the edge of the keyber that you just made. Third keyber is going to go here. So you want to be looking at playing around this area here, close to the hatch. And you want to put that to stop this window and this window, so around this area on stage. You then want to worry about this window, but that's easily solved by putting a keyber. I like to put, you can put it this side, but I like putting it this side on the edge of this bar here. And then the second one is for you to actually play behind, and I put that on this chair here. Now, with that, I mean, look at that angle. With that in mind, this setup now is ridiculous. If anyone's on either of these 2 windows, you can take cover here, and you can fight back from here. If anyone's on that window, you don't have to worry about that, or you can if you want to fight back. I don't recommend peeking that window, though. And if anyone drops red stairs, they're going to walk red hatch. They're going to walk out of red, like this, and not see a thing. But if I can put a drone... I can't put a drone. I'm on defense. I've just tried to put a drone down. But if you... Bear in mind, if you are here, anyone walks out of there, you can see the door there. You're going to see their feet straight away. You can spray them down. Also, you're going to be able to hold new hatch with a nice little angle here. If anyone peeks into piano from new hatch, this is going to block their line of sight. They can't see that side of the shield, but you're going to be able to see them through that gap there. It's such a ridiculous setup. So you're going to be able to see them underneath here, and they won't be able to see you. Of course, you can also use this little angle on the table to shoot anyone that's there. It's just a ridiculous setup. I highly recommend reinforcing the hatch because you're probably going to get grenaded from below. Bear in mind, if anyone's ever doing this against you, use the hatch as a reference point. So if you're below and you're wondering where to grenade, the hatch is usually a good place to start. They're going to be around this area, normally to the west side of the hatch, around this area here. It's just a ridiculously strong setup, and there's loads of different setups you can do with the Azami in a ton of different sites. I mean, how ridiculous is it? You can just throw bulletproof shields and you get 5 of them to throw wherever you want to make one-way angles that are really difficult to attack onto. It's so strong and so oppressive. I don't think... the more I think about it, she has to be top 1, right? There's a ton of Azami setups that we can go through. However, I did do an earlier video a couple of months ago now on like some decent Azami setups. So we're going to have a quick look at that. There's a load of one-way angles you can get. I mean, look at that. You're on attack, right? You've dropped red and you go, right, okay, let's have a look at piano. Oh shit. I can't see piano. But my ankles are getting shot out. That's a concern. It's the same in you, actually. Anything going on in piano? I don't know, but my ankles are getting shot. It's just really strong. There's not really much more to add. Yeah, play Azami. Enjoy it. Because I don't think it's going to be long before she gets nerfed. In fact, I actually saw some patch notes yesterday about Azami that Ubisoft put out, said that they're looking at the shields to try and possibly make them less strong. Bulletproof shields that still take 3 hits. So good. Get Azami played. On to operator number 4. Again, I don't think these are surprises, but Solis is insane at the moment. Solis is really good, and I've come to Skyscraper for a reason. Solis is really good on maps where the attack comes from the other side of the map. So generally on Skyscraper, if you're attacking T and Karaoke, most teams will attack from the east side. Yeah, you'll have a couple of people coming through Geisha, but on the whole, the attack will come from the east. And generally in higher elo, though, in lower elo, a lot of people will go direct for the site. But on a lot of maps where the attack will come from the opposite side across, Solis is really good. And the reason for that is the attackers have got to place drones on the other side of the map. Villa's a classic example. Shoot the radio, by the way. And also shoot this radio. Villa's another classic example where the attack comes from the other side of the map when you're defending Aviator and Games. But for example here, a lot of attackers, are going to push from the south and east side of the map to get over to T and Karaoke. They ultimately want to take control of this, take control of Dragon, and take control of Drum. and then either come through this wall or push through here. Usually, obviously, some attacks can be direct through Geisha. But why Solis is good for this is because there's going to be pre-placed drones on this side of the map. So if we want to have a look for drones, put your scanner on, run around the map, you're going to find one. We can see nomads outside. Thanks very much, nomad. But also the drones in the corner there. Like, how difficult is that to spot as you're running through? You wouldn't normally notice it. Boom. Thanks very much. Drone's gone. Now, Solis counters pretty much everything on the attack. Well, let's say counters it. It can detect everything pretty much on attack. I've just taken control of nomad. I'm going to put an air jab above the door. I want to run out that door, but I can't say if it's safe. Is there an air jab there or not? Well, don't worry. I'm playing Solis. I can just find out. There is an air jab there. Did you know you can shoot most air jabs, by the way, before you get outside? You don't always have to impact it. You can just like look out and shoot them. But you can scan it. So the other beauty as well of Solis is you can go below. Let me go down house stairs. I'm going to have to move nomad over in a second as well. And this is the other super strong thing. You can just move nomad quickly. You can detect the plant from below. So if I'm playing nomad and I'm going to start planting, I can't plant because that isn't the site. It's karaoke tea. Excuse me a second whilst I just run to the other side of the map because I forgot which site I picked at the start of this video. Right, nomad, run to the other side of the map, please. Right, we're just going to have to talk amongst ourselves here whilst nomad runs to the other side of the map. Again, I probably should edit this out, but I'm not going to because we do everything in one take. Right, so nomad's above. She's going to start planting in tea room. The plant's going down. We put the Solis scanner on. Boom, there's the diffuser. We can now impact the floor there. And we can see and shoot the nomad from below. However, there is a counter to this. Everyone thinks, oh, Solis is below, not going to be able to plant. There's two counters to this, actually. If we go upstairs, the first counter is very, very obvious, but it isn't 100% guaranteed. The first counter is stand on something when you plant. So, for example, nomad stands on here. She can plant on here. And she's generally protected from the floor a little bit. But if you were on this angle here below, looking up there, like to that angle, you'd still be able to shoot the nomad. Now, the best counter to this, in my opinion, and this only works if you've got the time. If nomad were to drop the diffuser and walk away, when Solis is scanning, the diffuser symbol is exactly the same whether the diffuser is being planted or whether the diffuser is just cold on the ground. All that symbol means is the diffuser is on the ground. It could mean that the attacker's planting, or it could mean that it's just there. So if you're an attacker, what you can do is bait out the Solis by making it look like you're planting. Have her use her 2 impact grenades, then take the diffuser. It's a bit of a risk because the floor will be open, obviously, because they've used the impact grenades. Then take the diffuser and go and plant on something solid from underneath. You're a lot safer doing that, and it's just a good way of baiting out the Solis impact grenades. But you just can't moan at Solis. If you're probably the best roamer in the game at the minute, well, definitely the best roamer in the game at the minute, especially on maps where you see a lot of droning, you can just go and deny all the drones early doors. You can get information from below. You can find out if there's claymores and air jabs on things if you want to run out. There's just very little not to like about Solis. And of course, we haven't even mentioned this yet. SMG-11 secondary, which is absolutely insane. Just an all-round great op. There's not a massive amount to talk about, is there? I can't really talk about setups. Just run around. The best thing to do, in my opinion, as soon as the round starts, run to the other side of the map. Or run to an area where you know drones are going to come in. So on Clubhouse, run to Garage. On Villa, run downstairs to the front door. Go and find those drones. Get 2 or 3 drones in the prep phase. On maps like Border, she's so good because it's quite a small map. Coastline especially as well. You can run around upstairs and get 4 drones easy on Coastline and Border. Just an absolutely insane operator with a crazy set of guns as well. SMG-11 and P90. There's nothing not to like. Absolutely unreal operator. And well worth a list in the top 5. Again, probably narrows it down a bit like Azami. Probably makes it top 2, top 3 easy. And last, but by no means least, is the newest boy, Fenrir. Now, again, I don't think this comes as a surprise. Fenrir is insanely strong at the minute. I'm going to go through why Fenrir is strong and a little setup to sort of utilize him best. And a lot of people don't do this, but hopefully I can try and explain it quite well. And then I'm going to flip to the other side of the fence and look what it feels like on attack, because it's absolutely gross. So why is Fenrir good? Well, one, because of what the effects of the gadget do, but also the ways gadget works and being able to disable and enable multiple different gadgets depending on where the push is coming from. So I've used this site on Oregon downstairs because this is a good example where A lot of the time the push comes from blue, but it could also come from main stairs. It could also come from freezer. It could also come from tower stairs or even the hatch on the other side of this wall here. And I know a lot of the time it's from blue, but a lot of sites generally are sort of, the attack comes from 1 or 2 directions most. This site is unique because it can be literally 4 different directions. So what we're going to do is just chuck 4 Fenrir FNATs around the map and cover the 4 ways that can be attacked. Talk amongst yourselves whilst I put these down. And you're going to have a spare 5th as well, but we'll talk about that later. Well, I say later, in about 2 minutes time. So 4 FNATs down from the 4 locations where the push is coming from. And the best way to play Fenrir is to pick 3 directions which you think the push is most likely to come from. So blue definitely, tower stairs definitely, and then it's a toss-up whether it's freezer or main. Let's just go main for now. So we've activated those 3 devices. We can only activate a maximum of 3. We can't activate that one there. I'm trying to reinforce that, not activate it. I'm trying to activate that FNAT. I can't do it because I've already got 3 activated. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen, laundry storage, boiler room, and blue bunker are the activated FNATs. Now, let's just put another one down so we've put all 5 down. We've got the... In fact, that's not a good example. You know what? We'll just talk around it. It's not a good example because it's the same direction as this, but you know what I'm getting at. So, if the push starts happening and nobody is tower stairs, Fenrir turns that off and the push is coming freezer and turns that on. Like, do you know how strong that is? Like, I sound patronizing when I say that, but that is insane. Because it requires less and less thinking when it comes to putting the gadgets down. Like, you pick Malusi, and you put your gadgets down, you put your Malusi Banshees down in 3 different places. If the push comes from the other side, you've had it. You've never... useless. Those Banshees are never going to get activated. Alright, they're not coming main stairs. No problem. Where are they coming? Tower stairs. Fine. Like, how... That is insane. That is so good. So, that's one thing I don't see a lot of Fenrir players doing. I see them, like, putting, like, 5 FNATs down and then activating 3 and just forgetting about it. You've got to keep an eye on the left-hand side as well about which ones have been destroyed. Because, one, you'll get the notification that it's gone off. But if it gets destroyed, you'll know. Like, say, for example, Freezer gets destroyed. Down the left-hand side where it says B Freezer, I'll highlight it. Where it says B Freezer, that'll disappear from the list. Let's go and show you. So, if we destroy the Freezer one... You'll see that the freezer one gets destroyed from gets taken away from the list. So now you know, not only has the Fenrir gone off, but you now know that that's disappeared from the list. You know the push is coming from that direction. Now bear in mind with Fenrir, once you lose one active FNAT, you actually lose a sort of activation key, so to speak, for another one. So now we can only activate 2 FNATs as a maximum because one of the activated ones went. So if I try and activate that now, I can't do it, but I can deactivate one of the 2 existing and then activate that. But I can now only have a maximum of 2 activated. Again, the same. If you destroy one, you can now only have a maximum of 1 activated. So it is good to destroy them, obviously, because it means there's less FNATs about the map, but it also means Fenrir then can't activate another one on the other side of the map. So let's have a look at what this looks like from the attacker perspective. Hello, Ace. Where's your leg gone, mate? And I'll discuss why I think Fenrir should be changed slightly. Oh, wow. Ace just survived a bailiff to the face. So we're on attack now. Ignore this site, by the way. I don't normally use that site on Ace. I just did it for a bit of bait on a TikTok video. And just to see if people would be like, why on earth are you using that site? And it worked. We've got an FNAT here. They just look scary, don't they? Fenrir is going to activate it. And then I'll show you why I think Fenrir is a little bit OP and what I think needs to change. So that's now active. So if we walk in, I mean, one... It's absolutely gross, isn't it? Like, it just follows you around for ages. It doesn't stop. It's not on a timer. As long as you're in the range of the FNAT, you're going to have this effect. It's gross. Now, what I think should change... Let me just step out of it a second. You see how it takes a couple of seconds for that effect to disappear after I'm out of the effects of the FNAT? Like, if I'm in here and I step out, that should be gone now, in my opinion. I think it takes too long. Especially once I'm in it and I destroy it. Watch how long it takes for the effect to disappear after I destroy this. I don't think that's right. I think it takes too long for that to disappear. I feel as soon as that FNAT is destroyed, the effect just drops immediately. I know it's like a gas, so it probably takes a bit of a while for the gas to disperse, if you want to talk like realism, but I just feel like it's too strong. If you walk into a door and you manage to shoot the utility, that should just disappear straight away. Like, the window of advantage for a defender to be here hear that FNAT go off, and you can sort of wait for the gunshot until the FNAT's destroyed, because you know the opponent's looking the opposite way. So as a defender, if you know that's just been shot, you know the ace is looking back at the door, so he's got his back to you. So you wait for the gunshot, and then you peek. It's just too strong for me. And that effect needs to end as soon as the FNAT is destroyed, or as soon as you're out of the range of it. But, I mean, it's just a joke, innit? Like, sorry, I'm pressing the wrong button on the other keyboard here. It has to be the worst effect of any gadget in Siege, like, to be trapped in. You don't know where anything is, you don't know where anyone is. It's so disorientating, you can't hear a thing. But it should go now. Like, it should just disappear. There shouldn't be another second or two that it waits for the gas to disappear. But that's just my thoughts. Fenrir is easily in the top 5 operators at the minute. And I think the last 3 that we've discussed are probably the top 3. I think you have to look at Solis, Azami, and Fenrir as the best 3 defenders at the minute. Imagine fighting a lineup on attack made up of Mute, Echo, Solis, Fenrir, and Azami. It's like, it's nightmare-inducing. Cheers for your help, Fenrir. So there we have it, the top 5 defenders in my opinion. Yes, Echo's a little bit left field. I really feel he's top 5. But people just don't use his drone creatively enough or imaginatively enough and get it destroyed early and don't get value from it. Or don't play aggressively with the teammates and drone around the map, like I said earlier. And look, Mute's an old favourite. He's going to be good everywhere. There's no site Mute's not a good pick. But Azami, Fenrir, and Solis, I mean, they're ridiculous, man. They should be in every single round. I'm keen to hear your thoughts, though. They're my 5. It's only a matter of opinion. You might enjoy a different 5. Get it in the comments below if you think you like a different 5. Listen, if you've watched the video for 10 minutes, 10 seconds, or if you've watched it 10 times, thank you very much. The channel's nothing without you. Yes, you at home or wherever you are on the train watching this on your phone. Maybe that's mad to think that actually someone could be like on a train in America. No, actually, you don't use trains in America. On a train in France watching this video on the way to work, and I'm just like at home in England making a video. That's mad, isn't it? I've never really thought about that before. Wherever you are, if you've watched it for 10 minutes, 10 seconds, or 10 times, thank you very much. The channel's nothing without you watching it wherever you might be. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Cheers!